So here's a funny little story. It appears that Tom Brady, obviously the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, appeared at the White House visit with Joe Biden, which is actually interesting because I think Tom Brady typically skips out on the White House meets. I know that he missed one with Obama and he missed one under Trump, I believe. So I don't know if, when the last time he went was. So I would say that's surprising in the first place. But what's weird about Tom Brady is it appears that with Tom Brady, he's starting to undergo a big shift now that he's no longer in New England. I don't know if this is a public relations thing. I don't know who came up with this idea. But Tom Brady has transformed into a different person. He's becoming much more transparent. He has this different, or at least what's deemed to be transparent in what he's doing. He's more liberal with what he says. We saw that comment he had on the shop where he said that one of the teams that he was thinking of going to, he said that, he said, oh, you're going to stick with that motherfucker. So he's starting to let more of this loose. He's starting to let people see I don't know if this is the real him or not, but do remember that Tom Brady was a Trump supporter. He did have a MAGA hat in his locker room. I believe that Bill Belichick had written a congratulatory letter or some bloated letter to Trump. So they were both fans of his for sure. But I don't know if it's his wife Giselle or what's going on, but she says they don't support Trump. It's obvious he does. So to me, it looked like Tom Brady was a douchebag behind the scenes. That's what it looked like to me. But it says Tom Brady to Biden, 40% of people still don't think we won. So you can check out the video here.
But we found our rhythm. We got on a roll. Not a lot of people, think that we could have won. And in fact, I think about 40% of the people still don't think we won.
I understand that.
You understand that, Mr. President?
I understand that.
Yeah. And personally, it's nice for me to be back here. We had a game in Chicago where I forgot what down it was. I lost track of one down in 21 years of playing. And they started calling me Sleepy Tom. Why would they do that to me? So,
It says NFL quarterback Tom Brady joked alongside President Biden at a White House ceremony Tuesday that 40% of the country doesn't believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, alluding to the considerable percentage of Republicans who polls show do not accept Biden's election victory, which, by the way, there are serious poll numbers. I just saw one that said that in Arizona, 2/3 of the Republicans believe that the audit in Arizona is going to, I don't know if it was turn Arizona over to Trump or if it was straight up the whole election. I'm not sure. But it was one of the two. So it says not a lot of people, think that we could have won, Brady joked. And in fact, I think about 40% of the people still don't think we won. I understand that, Biden responded, laughing. So obviously it's a clever quip, I would say. Obviously it was definitely surprising that the Buccaneers, not that they won the Super Bowl itself per se, in the long term you might have thought that in the big picture, but once the Buccaneers had defeated the Packers, it certainly, I don't think, was a big surprise, and that was after they beat New Orleans. So it was just it wasn't a major surprise of any kind that they beat the Chiefs. The manner in which they beat the Chiefs, which was a ferocious beatdown, yeah, that was surprising. I didn't expect that at all. But I don't think many people expected, after watching them get destroyed by New Orleans twice, I don't think anyone expected the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to actually win. Just Brady also quipped that people started calling him Sleepy Tom after a game in Chicago, reference to former President Trump's nickname for Biden during the campaign. Remember, Brady had that turnover on downs where he thought he had another down, but there was no more downs. And so, he showed up. What's really interesting about this to me is obviously he's showing up to the White House, which is rare in and of itself. But now, is he trying to make a shift in his sort of public relations image? His public image, we know he put out that TB12 book and all of this stuff. But now that he's here with Biden, obviously this is a comment that's going to piss off Trumpsters. Trumpsters won't like this kind of comment. But what is Tom Brady trying to do with this? Is he trying to change his image? Is he trying to make it more positive? Because do remember, he had a MAGA hat in his locker room in the NFL stadium, and so that was something that was he was criticized for. He was known to be like one of Trump's friends and was, delighted to be his buddy. So the question really becomes, what exactly is going on here with Tom Brady? Because ever since he's left New England, there seems to be a big shift from him in terms of what his public persona is. It used to be a lot more of a boring kind of persona, but now he's really starting to get very animated when he plays and when he's off the field. He's more spicy when he's off the field. He's given more controversial comments. So is he trying to shift his public image here? And is that part of him, going to Joe Biden and basically reaffirming his victory and all of this stuff? Is that part of this plan? I don't really know. I think that's what it is. Who is the real Tom Brady? I don't really know the answer to that question. I don't know who the real Tom Brady is because it's very, very hard to figure out who he really is. It is a clever quip, and I would say that it is definitely very concerning what percentage of the Republicans don't think that Joe Biden won. And there even seems to be a somewhat significant portion of the population that genuinely believes that Joe Biden is going to be removed and Donald Trump reinstated as president of the United States. So there's obviously a lot of QAnon kooks that believe that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't underestimate the amount of people that believe that. The Trumpster base is definitely the most delusional base I've seen in my life. And they are more than you would think, right? He was attracting like 30K people at his rallies, even though nobody apparently is buying tickets to his O'Reilly tour. So basically what this goes to show you, a couple things. Obviously, Tom Brady, he's trying to restate his public image. But also a little bit concerning what exactly is going on here with, Joe Biden and the election and Trump and all of this stuff.